My name is Anthony Withers. The story that I'm about to share with you is about an individual named Jack Burnell. Now, Jack Burnell is not a unique individual in the sense that he's especially talented or that he's especially gifted. He's like any of us. He's a good person. He's striving to do the best that he can in his life. And due to circumstances beyond his control, he has become ill. Now, this story is going to cover many different facets, and you will see that as you listen to Jack Burnell unfold what has taken place in his life in just a few short months. Now, we're not talking about an unfolding of a year. We're talking about less than a year. As I make this story, as I log this story, it's January 8th, 2006. What's transpired in Jack's life started in June of 2005. He has come from having his own home. He's come from having his own job. He's come from having his own life to where he's at now. He has a congenital heart disease. He does say that it is genetic, in that his grandfather and his father passed on from the same illness. However, unlike his grandfather and father, he's had to become homeless. He's also had to become destitute due to government policies. Jack is a man of faith, but he doesn't proselytize his faith at any point. He is concerned that other people who will see this learn from his mistakes and also learn from his strength. I'm telling you as a person that observed Jack for better than 6 to 8 hours when I first met him in November of 2005. Jack is probably one of the most selfless individuals I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. He made me feel badly without even knowing that he did that, because a lot of times as a person I've complained about small things like the water's too hot in my coffee, or I didn't get a double latte and I ordered a grande, or something petty. Jack cares about other human beings, and he wouldn't have me tell you this, but I'm going to. I watched this man selflessly care about other people in his environment when probably you and I would have been concerned about our own plight. Jack Burnell is going to die. He needs a heart transplant. Without it, he will die. Now, this story that you're going to see in and of itself is frightening from the standpoint of anytime our government looks at a problem, sometimes it looks at the first problem as its people that it serves. I don't mean to editorialize by making my opinion be known, but knowing Jack and knowing what has happened to him makes me feel that way. I care about Jack, and I think when you see this process that's about to unfold in front of your eyes, you're going to care about Jack Burnell too. And I've entitled this particular production, Jack Burnell Will Die, based on the fact that Jack said it himself. He said, Anthony, I'm not going to be alive probably when this production comes out. I may not be around in another year. If I don't get a transplant, I will be gone. But I wanted you to get a chance to meet Jack. I want you to care about Jack the way I do. And I want our government, if possible, to take a look at this and reconsider its policies on medical bankruptcy. Our country is built with millions and millions and millions of Jacks. Jack Burnell is you, Jack Burnell is me. Our government is here to serve us. And I hope and pray that this production that I'm about to show you will help you care about the next time you vote a senator into office, or a governor, or anyone who deals with lawmaking process of our country. This needs to stop. Jack needs to be helped. Our government is too great to not be able to overcome this problem. I want to thank you for what you're about to see, and I hope it touches you the way it touched me. Jack Burnell, well, he wouldn't say he's a saint, but he's improved me, and I think when you see this production, you'll be improved as well.
Hi, my name is Jack Burnell. I'm 43 years old. I live right now at this Aristocrat Motel on West Colfax. I'm here to talk about some of the situations I've gone through in the last 6 months.
Jack, what is going on with you as far as your heart? Why should we care about what's going on with you? Explain to the people that will be looking at this why this is important for them to know about in terms of what has happened to you.
Okay. Well, on June 10th, I was in a little town called Pahrump, Nevada. I was working there as a contractor. And
Who did you work for? Was it the federal government?
no, I
or
worked for myself.
Work for yourself.
Right. Previously, I'd worked for the federal government. I worked for Department of Energy. I worked at Sandia National Labs. I've worked at Oak Ridge. I worked at Savannah River. I quit that job because it was so stressful that I had a desire to build, and it's something my father and I had done when I was a child. And
You wanted to be more creative, in other words, rather than...
It's something I enjoy doing, let's put it that way.
All right.
All right, it's something I enjoy doing, so I went and did it. And so I was doing that, and I was working for inspection work on homes also down there. Anyways, I had been diagnosed with asthma a year before, and I was taking inhalers and other medicine for
the nebulizers?
right, for the asthma.
Right.
And when there had been some fires in this summer, and I could not breathe. I had bad attacks.
So what year was this that this happened?
Just last year.
So it was 2005?
2005.
Okay.
And I went to the doctor and explained to him that these medications weren't working. So the nurse said that I was just going to go make an appointment and go right back to work. The nurse said, let's take your blood pressure because you're having a hard time breathing right now. I said, sure. She did. She said, you need to sit down. They took an EKG. They said, you're not having an asthma attack. You're having a heart attack.
What led them to take an EKG if you were having...
Probably the blood pressure. I don't know. I don't know why they did it. But probably the symptoms of short of breath,
yeah.
The fact that...
So they put you through a battery of tests
And-
to check your condition.
Right. And they found out I was having a heart attack. And they said...
Now, how old are you again? You're
43.
And you're rather young to be having a heart attack.
I was 42 at the time, yeah.
Wow.
And but I find out later that I had been having heart attacks for a year. I never had asthma.
So you had been having maybe small
Call them
heart...
silent heart attacks, yeah. And so, had I been diagnosed properly, I probably wouldn't be in this position I'm in now. So, they rushed me off to a hospital in Vegas. They did a cardiogram, which they go up into an artery in your leg, and they go into your heart, and they see what the blockage is like. The doctor looked at me and said, "You need an operation right now."
So it was that
That urgent.
either have it now or die.
Or die. And so they whisked me off to another hospital, and my life changed within a second.
Now this is in 2005. We're in 2006 now.
Right,
In
June
January.
11th.
So we're a year ago. You weren't.
Less than a year. June 11th.
Wow.
And so they put me in Valley Hospital. Doctor explained what he was going to do. They actually said that I would be back to work in a month.
Back to building houses.
Yes, in a month. And I don't know if that was a way of them getting me on the table or not, because I was apprehensive to do so. But that's what he said. So I said, okay, let's go through with it. So my brother came down, my father came down. And because my brother had a heart attack 2 months prior to me going to the hospital.
Now you said, when I met you, you said that this was possibly genetic.
It is genetic. My grandfather died at 45. My brother had a heart attack. My grandmother had heart disease. My mother has heart disease.
Now, Jack, with all that kind of data, in terms of knowing you're a smart man, was there at any point in time, was there a point when you were 35 when you said, look, I need to maybe look ahead because of what my family history is. Is that a reasonable question?
Yeah, it's a reasonable question. Actually, no. I mean, I was in great shape.
Right.
I weightlifted. I was in very good shape.
You've put on a little weight, obviously.
Put on a lot of weight since the hospital.
So for the sake of the image that we're recording, you looked much different a year ago at this time.
Oh, yeah.
So how much weight have you gained?
Well, overall, I probably gained about 30 pounds. When I got out of the hospital, I had gained 70 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you were bigger
it's all
than
water weight.
Water weight.
Okay. I was bigger when I got out of the hospital than I am now. Yes.
At this point in time, just for the record, you're about over
220.
220. Okay.
So.
What was your weight a year ago this day, as far as you remember?
Oh, I weighed about 215, but I had 34-inch waist.
Okay, so because of the fact that you were a bodybuilder, or you?
No, I was built, so I was,
You were sort of svelte.
Yeah.
Right.
I had a different body than I do now. Anyway, so they came down, my brother and my father, and when I went out, I don't really remember anything that happened a few days prior to the operation. I remember bits and pieces. I remember the doctor telling me I need an operation. I remember the doctor telling me I'd be out in a month. But anything beyond that, I don't really remember that much.
So you lost track of time
because they had me in because of the operation, because of the anesthesia. Anyways, I go on there and I wake up, and this is days later, and I don't, of course, I don't remember anything that occurred during the operation. But I was strapped down in the most pain I've ever been in my life, and my brother came over to me, and I hadn't seen my brother in years, and he asked me if I was okay with God. That's the first thing he asked me, and I knew two things. One, my brother had changed some, and two, there's something drastically wrong, because my brother wouldn't be asking me that if something really bad hadn't happened.
So you were near death?
Oh yeah, I died a few times down the table.
Technically you were dead?
Oh yeah.
Did they tell you, just for the record, how many times you died?
Oh, it was, I don't know, 5 or 6 times.
Wow.
They couldn't close, they had to, they explained this later to me that
they had cracked your chest.
They had opened up my chest to operate on, to put the bypasses in.
Right.
When they tried to close me up, my heart would stop, so they couldn't do that. So they had to leave my chest open.
You said 2 days?
2 days with my chest open, yeah.
How is it possible for someone to have their body exposed for 2 days? You were in an environment where...
Yeah, it was a clean environment, I guess. I mean, I wasn't there. I mean, okay. I was physically there, but that's it.
So they probably put a tent over you.
I don't know. My brother actually saw me wide open, because he's a nurse, and he went in and actually saw me.
He saw the procedure.
Yeah. And so they closed me up. When I woke up, my brother had come to me, and they had something like 27 IVs in me. The nurse they had hired from an agency, she's a PA.
What is it?
Physician's assistant.
Okay, that's what the acronym stands for,
right.
PA. Okay.
And she had stated that I was the hardest case she ever had. It was difficult working with me. She kept losing me, and she had to bring me back. And
so they had to refibrillate. They had to actually use.
I don't know what they did exactly.
But in some form, they had to stimulate your heart to get it started again.
Oh yeah, they had actually had a pump in me coming through my leg to actually help my heart.
Okay.
And so they transferred me there up to the regular population. I was in ICU.
Okay.
They put me in regular population. From there,
So you had improved. They put you in regular population.
Right. And that's normally what they do. They get you standing and they get you sitting for a couple of days. Right. They move you up.
Right. They got you out of intensive care.
Right. To the general population. Well, it's a heart wing.
Okay.
And there I had developed edema, which is this water that the heart can't pump out. And I went to 280 pounds.
280 pounds?
Right.
Almost 300 pounds.
Yes.
So you ballooned.
I ballooned, right, because my heart couldn't get rid of the water.
Were you near death at that point because of the fact?
Yeah, oh yeah, and you know what gets me is when I was there, this is the reason I'm in Colorado now. My brother realized that the healthcare was not terrific in Vegas, and
This is no put down to Vegas, but the facts are that Colorado.
This is what happened, and
Colorado's superior in that.
Oh yeah, much more superior.
Aspect.
Oh yeah, at least to my experiences, that is much more superior.
So you're in Colorado now.
Right, because here I'm at 280 pounds. They say you can go now.
They released you at
Yes.
almost 300 pounds?
I said, I can't even breathe. I was laying down. I said, I can't even breathe. So my brother got a plane ticket for me. I got on the plane, and they wheeled me right out. I couldn't even walk. They had to wheel me into the airplane. I thought I was going to die.
Let me
on the
get this
plane.
straight. They put you on a pressurized environment on a plane.
Right, and I had permission to do so by the doctors.
The doctors certified
Valley,
you for
yes.
being able to fly.
Right. They said I can go. I said, this is what I'm going to do. Is that okay if I do this? They said yes.
And at no time did you get a second opinion, or you didn't? Okay.
I was in such. I mean, I was in agony. Agony.
But your brother, he's a nurse now. I guess
Right.
the question I'm asking, this is a person that's trained
Yes.
in medicine, correct?
But he didn't know how bad I was. I've been in the hospital for a month and a half. After the operation, a month and a half, he had come back to Colorado. He has to work. So my father and
So
my
he's
brother,
a nurse here in Colorado.
right, in Colorado.
I see.
So he wanted me back here, so he could look after me. So he gets the plane ticket, and I fly out here. He looks at me, and he knows something's wrong right when I got off the plane.
So you did survive obviously
I
the
did
flight.
survive the flight.
Now,
It was
were there
horrible.
any medical people on standby once you were in the aircraft?
No.
So had your heart stopped?
Oh, I don't know what their procedures are. They may have had. I have a defibrillator in me that will go off if my heart goes in.
So it will fire to
Right.
get your heart started again.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So, anyways, I get off the plane. My brother looks at me. He realizes that I'm in bad shape. He takes me to us. He says, "You need to go back to the hospital." I was reluctant, of course.
You were reluctant at
Yeah.
almost 300 pounds, 280 pounds.
Well, I was sick of being in the hospital. And after what I experienced, I was really reluctant to go back. And I'm a pretty
Stubborn.
stubborn person.
Okay.
So I went to...
Dynamic. I'll just...
I went back to the hospital.
All right.
And they could not believe that the other hospital had released me.
What was... Just for the sake of this story, when the doctors saw you, were they incredulous as to what had happened to you? I mean, when they saw your condition, you had ballooned to 280 pounds. You had been flown out here on a plane. You had been cleared to do that. You had been in a hospital for 2 months, correct?
Month and a half.
Month and a half, okay. Your heart had stopped several times. When they saw you, did they mention to your brother, who was a nurse, that somebody had been incompetent, or I mean, what were the statements that were made to you or your brother regarding your condition? Were they angry about how you'd been handled?
I don't know, but the impression that I got was that this is the impression I got.
Okay.
Because doctors don't really talk about
No,
other doctors.
it's a
Right.
close,
It's a
it's
very
a protective,
protective risk. The impression I got was that they were not surprised that this kind of thing happened in Vegas, and they weren't surprised. That's what was my impression.
But this isn't an indictment to Las Vegas medicine, is it? I mean, I guess what I'm asking is, with all the things that happened to you, why wasn't there a nurse at least assigned to you in flight, or?
You'd have to ask Vegas that. I really don't know. Anyway, so I left on July, the second week in July.
2005.
2005 to come here. I came here. My brother whisked me off to Colorado University Hospital, University of Colorado Hospital.
Right.
There, they were, like I said, they were surprised I was even let go.
In Vegas.
In Vegas. But they immediately took care of me. They diuresed me. And I have a wonderful doctor named Dr. Wolfel. I guess he's the head of cardiology at the University Hospital.
Here in
Right.
Denver.
And I have another doctor, Dr. Lowe's, who's a transplant doctor there. And there's many other doctors, Robinson. There's quite a few other doctors.
So you have a battery of doctors that are looking out
Right.
for you right now, that
Right.
are monitoring you.
Not only are they're the best. As far
They're
as
the
I'm
best.
concerned. They're great. And I mean, they're chiefs. So
The chiefs of surgery.
Right.
So
Dr. Fullerton.
these are people that train other doctors.
Right.
Educate
They're
other.
professors, right.
They're professors. Okay.
Right.
So they know of what they speak.
Oh, yeah.
And they know your case
Right.
intimately.
Oh yeah, very intimately. So they diuresed me, and then I asked Dr. Wolfel. He said, "Could you please tell me what I'm going through?" Because I had no idea. I had been told I'd go back to work in a month. I had no idea what was happening to me. Well, it turns out that he sat down with me and he said, "Jack," he said, "from the tests we've done," he waited till he performed all the tests. He sat down on my bed and he said that this is where you're at. You're at 32% ejection rate, which is very, very poor.
Now, what is ejection rate?
It's how your heart is pumping out blood.
Okay.
And it's very, very poor. They, I think 50%, if your ejection rate is 50%, you're permanently disabled.
And you were at 30%?
32, exactly. And so he told me that my life, as I now know it, is over. Your life has changed, that's what he said.
You were going to die, Jack.
No. This time we had not known that. And he just said that my life had changed. There's no way I could go back to building. There's no way I could have any stress. There's no way, you know.
So even walking right now is a major,
right? It's very
just
difficult.
simple
Yes.
taking two steps, one step in front of the other,
Can be
is
very
amazing.
difficult,
But what I guess I'm trying to ask is, at any point in time right now, with what you know, you are at risk of losing your life.
Oh yeah, at any moment. Right.
Even during this interview.
Oh yeah. I have a 50-50 chance of waking up in the daytime. I mean, it's just, I don't know. So,
Jack, what do you want to tell people about what has happened to you financially? Now, I guess I'm going to jump around a little bit. Physically, you know that you probably may not be alive 365 days from this day.
that's correct. Unless a miracle happens, Unless
You're waiting for a
miracle
transplant, basically.
happens. Yeah, and that's
That's not likely.
because it'd probably take too long. Yeah.
With what you know about what's happened to you, tell everybody about what took place to change your life. Do you recall when you and I met, you told me about where you had been financially, what had happened to you, and what led you to...
the medical expenses were extreme.
What was the expense? Just if it... You don't have to give specifics, just in generalities. What has this
It
cost
cost
you?
me everything.
So you've had to give up your home?
Right. You had to give up my home, my possessions, and my car, everything.
Everything.
In order for me to be able, with the bills that had been accumulated, I had to pay off those.
How much was that? Just
A lot.
a lot.
Yes.
Over $1 million.
Over $1 million.
Over $1 million.
Easy.
Okay.
And
So you've had to
In order
sell
for-
your home,
you
sell your cars, everything.
I had to get rid of everything. In order for me even to get Social Security and SSI. Now, in order for me to afford a transplant, now I'm unable to work now because of my condition.
Correct.
In order for me to get Medicaid and SSI and SSDI, which is Social Security disabled,
Social Security disabled. What's the okay?
disability insurance is called.
And obviously, you are really what they look for in terms of a person that's honestly disabled.
I'm honestly disabled.
There's
yes. There's no answer.
no doubt about it.
Right.
You're the real deal.
Now, but in order for Social Security to, before they will even accept you, you have to be destitute.
Right.
And I met other people in my condition since this has happened. That it's just a shame. I met a aeronautical engineer. His daughter is sick, very sick. She's at the Children's Hospital now.
In Denver.
In Denver, here, and he had to sell his home, everything, even the home that she lived in.
In order to get help.
She's 14 years old now. She's had more operations than you can believe, and I don't really know her diagnosis, but I know she's very sick. He had to give up everything in order for Social Security finally to help them. And you have to be totally destitute before they'll help you.
You're living at the Volunteers of America
Aristocrat Hotel.
Aristocrat. Right. It used to be the Aristocrat Hotel
right.
in West Denver, on Colfax,
right,
West Colfax.
Right.
You've gone from your house was pretty.
I had a pretty nice house.
Pretty
yes.
yeah. Sort of palatial. It was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
At least $300,000 home.
I've gone all the way to
a room.
To a room, but I want to.
And you're sharing it.
Well, yeah, I'm not right now, but I do share it, yes. And and I'm grateful for them for giving me that. I mean, the place has been awesome. I mean, honestly, the DOA has been incredible. And most of the staff, Steve and Elaine and Carol, and they've gone far and above what they need to do. I mean, they go way out of their way. They're great people, and I can't thank them enough for what they've done. And you know, and
your faith has helped you get through this, hasn't it?
Yes, very much so. Very much so.
Now, you weren't necessarily a man of God a year ago, per se, or what is your background? Talk.
No, I've been a believer for 25 years.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
It's actually helped you stay sane through what's happened through.
Yeah, I don't believe if I didn't have Jesus Christ in my life, I don't believe I would be able to handle this. And it has been a unique experience. I mean, my faith says in the Bible to live as Christ, to die as gain. And we know as believers where we're going. And it changes, at least it does change my perception of things. And yes, I know that I'm going to die. I'm not in denial. I take the medicine the doc tells me to. I do what the doc tells me to do. I know exactly. I saw the pictures of my heart. I know how bad off I am. I'm not in denial. But I know where I'm going when this ends. And that has brought me peace throughout all this. And that is what has brought me through this so far.
Your faith.
My faith.
What do you, in terms of the government, what do you want people to do? I guess I don't know how to couch the question.
I guess things,
what's happened to you isn't fair.
As far as the Social Security and everything, is it fair? I don't know. But I will tell you this, is that if you put into the Social Security, you should be able to get out. And when you're disabled and the hoops you have to go through, it's astounding. And
even though you're sick.
And I have talked to DHS here, and they had said that they automatically will
reimburse you?
No, what's the word I'm looking for? You splice this right.
Yeah, just go and talk.
Okay, well, where they reject you. They reject you automatically.
You're kidding.
No. I mean, it's almost, from what I understand, it's almost automatic. You can apply, and they'll reject you automatically. Then you have to apply again.
Knowing that you're waiting for a heart?
Right.
In your condition,
right.
it's not like
trying to
get. It's not like trying to get a leg.
Honestly,
you have a. This is
right.
You need your heart.
Right. And
there isn't. You can't live.
Right.
So honestly, they reject you, knowing you need a heart.
Right. Honestly, what I think it is that they bank on you dying, so they don't have to put out anything.
So Jack, there's like an actuary table. They're counting on you not living.
That's what I think. You can't prove that. But obviously,
the effect,
the stalling they go through is that's what the effect is.
The effect will be if you're not here, then you don't need the heart.
Right.
And in your case, you're waiting, you're in the queue right now for a transplant that may possibly not happen.
Right. It probably won't happen. But the fact is that it definitely won't happen if I don't have Medicaid. Because I won't be able to pay for it, and the hospital won't do it without some kind of insurance or Medicaid to pay for it.
So you've given them everything that you can give them.
Everything.
You've been cooperative. Twice.
Yeah.
Okay. You've been cooperative. What have they required that your family pitch in, or I guess are you alone?
I'm alone. I'm a single male.
Financially.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And no, I don't want to put this burden on my family. That's not fair either.
All right.
You know, and my family's been great. My brother has done more than you can ever imagine for me. He's been wonderful. I mean, he brought me out here. He let me live at his house. He took care of me. He paid for my medications. I mean, my medications before the hospital helped me out is thousands of dollars. I mean, a month. I mean, it's amazing. I take like 50 pills a day.
One of them I noticed you were taking was nitroglycerin.
I have that in my pocket right now.
Which, I guess, Jack, the urgency of what I'm trying to get people to understand is that this is not a joke. This is life and death. Right now, talking to you, you're hanging by a string, correct? With the way you're being treated, it's only your faith that's helped you, correct?
My family and my faith, yes.
How could you see this improving in terms of the way the United States treats people in your condition? I mean, what would you ask a senator or a governor or anyone who's in power, the people that write the laws, the lawyers, the people that are in control of us? What do you want? Because I'm begging you. You're unique.
Well, I guess the way I would put it is, because now I'm living with the homeless community.
Right.
And I will say not everybody's the same. There are people in the system that know how to use the system,
all right,
that abuse the system. And I'm not sure if that's what these people that are in power are accustomed to. They may be accustomed to people abusing the system, but there are people like me
that need help,
that are legitimate, that have never ever been in the system.
You've never asked for anything in your life.
Not even unemployment. Nothing.
You've never even asked for unemployment.
No, never.
So now that you need your government really.
Well, now that I need help, yes.
They're not helping you, and you've never asked for a penny.
Never.
A year ago this day, you weren't thinking about anything other than going to work.
Going to work, yeah. I still think, honestly, I'd love to go back to work. Yeah.
You love your life.
Yeah.
Back.
Yeah. But you're right, and I think that there's got to be some system
to help people.
I mean, we got databases that are incredible nowadays. They can look it up and say, okay, this guy's never been in the system. He's obviously paid what he needs to pay. You know, we need to shell out the money for this guy. He's legit. And it could be done in a timely fashion, not 6, 7, 8 months down the line. It's ridiculous. That drives me nuts. And I know they say they'll back pay or whatever, but I may not have another month.
Back pay if you're not alive.
Right.
I mean, Jack, when I met you and I talked with you, I spent approximately 8 hours with you, roughly, more or less. When I talked with you, part of the reason why I was having a hard time leaving you is because I was in shock. When I met you and you told me that, by the way, I'm going to die, I thought you were a head case, to be honest. I said, well, he's kind of just trying to get a rise out of me. When you explained and I saw you taking nitroglycerin, and I looked at you, and you had a resolve and a calm about you that even now I'm in awe of what you are as a person. What do you see happening in terms of laws? You're a smart man, you're educated. What do you want the government to do in terms of helping other people if they can't help you? What do you want down the road, let's say 10 years from now, even if you're not here, what do you want to say so that this could be shared with other people, because you're living this, you're hearing it, and you got a right to say something. I want you to...
Well, there's got to be a system you got to make a system that works. I don't have any answers when it comes to how it should be done. I don't. But I know it needs to be done.
But you've been rejected.
I've been rejected.
Six times, right?
Oh, once. I mean, but with it, I applied back in July. Way back in July, and I've already been rejected, and then they did it again, and then they asked for the same information all over again. And then it's in dribbles and drabs. Okay, I asked the technician, I said, tell me everything I need to give to you, because I will give it to you right away. They tell me what I need, and I send it to them, and they say, oh, by the way, we need this, this, and this, and this. So another 4 weeks goes by, oh, we need this, this, and this. Just have everything, in one packet, and so everything can be done.
So you want to have a system where they know exactly what they need from whoever's in the situation. Right. If they need ID, whatever types of ID,
whatever.
To give you a bullet list of things you need so that you can get help.
Right, and they need to be able to, especially someone in my situation, they need to speed the process up. I mean, I don't know how many people this has gone through, and how many of my Social Security dollars or tax dollars is going to pay these people. But it seems like to me there's so much red tape and so much bureaucracy. I mean, it should be streamlined as far as I'm concerned. And there's got to, I don't know what it is, but it seems like they just don't care. Even though your situation is bleak, they just don't care. Maybe they're jaded, I don't know. Maybe they've seen so many of these cases, and maybe this is just their policy, I don't know. But they, a situation like mine where I need the Medicaid, in order to have a transplant, they need to be able to expedite that in a way that...
What have the doctors done? Now, earlier you said you have the chiefs of surgery, the professors that train other young men who want to be, or women who want to become doctors. Have they been able to help by writing letters of reference, or?
Oh well, they.
How do doctors help impact the system too?
Immediately when it came time, he went and got a social worker, Dr. Lowe's.
Dr. Lowe's,
right,
okay.
Dr. Wolfel. They immediately went and got a social worker. They immediately said, we need to get this and this done.
He actually hand walked you. He went and got.
No, they came to me. The same moment. I mean,
so he realized that your situation was urgent, and he made the social worker
come see
you. He went and actually physically got
during that appointment, right?
Wow.
Yeah, he made a phone call. I mean, and as far as anything I've ever needed, as far as medically, they made the phone call and it's happened. I mean, it's just that fast, and they've been great. They've been wonderful.
And that's at CU Medical Center.
CU, yeah. I can't praise that place enough.
So how many doctors do you have, again, just to reiterate? It's about 4 or 5, or?
Well, I have Dr. Lowe's, Dr. Wolfel, Dr. Fullerton.
At least 6 doctors.
Oh, yeah, and then there's Dr. Robinson. Then in each procedure, there's many more doctors. That
are in training, probably.
Well, no, they're regular, they're fellows.
Oh.
And like the ones who do my procedures, and, it depends on what they're doing to me. Like my leg got infected, got staph infection, almost lost my leg.
You almost lost your leg?
Yes. And so they had to, I was back in the hospital and then there was a whole different, Dr. Carter and a whole different bank of doctors over at Fitzsimmons.
Fitzsimmons.
Which is CU too.
Now Fitzsimmons, for people who don't know, that used to be an Army
and CU
hospital in the 40s, 50s during World War II.
University of Colorado.
And now this is updated. It's brand new.
It's brand new, and now they're all moving over there.
So you're at a state of the art, brand new facility.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's wonderful. And
but even with that, the government, knowing that you're absolutely, positively with the doctors, screaming at them, saying, "Look, this is real."
Yeah, it's real.
You're having problems with the way the system is being administered, even to you, even with the doctors saying this is legit, this is not phony, we're professionals, we know he's not lying.
They're beyond just doctors. They're the chiefs.
These are the people that are the bosses.
These are the main guys.
And so the government, even in spite of that, do you feel they respect what the? I mean, I'm incredulous that you've got the best people, you've got the top guys. They're even nervous for you.
Yes.
I'm nervous for you because I met you. I took a liking to you because of the way you treated other people. For those, I'm off camera, but for those who need to know, this gentleman was concerned about other human beings, even though he needs to have people be concerned about him. Talk a little bit about how that night I met you, you went to go, and I'm not asking you to pat yourself on the back. I'm just saying, I saw you care about other people.
Yeah, but that's part of
your faith.
My faith, and it's not just that. It's that.
And you're not trying. Look, I know I'm putting you on the spot. You're not trying to say, "Wow, how good I am," but there's a plethora of things that have made you survive this.
Well, yeah, and if we're not on earth to love other people, then why are we here?
And
that's the way I feel.
You know what? Normally I would be cynical about that, but when a man is dying, when someone is one heartbeat away from eternity, I believe you.
See, if we're I am not the perfect person, not by a long shot. I've made many mistakes in my life, but even now, I think that my life with this situation has become much more clearer.
Do you feel your life is rich right now?
Yeah, it's rich. Even though I don't have a cent to my name.
I didn't mean financially rich.
No, I understand that. I'm trying to explain that. Even though I'm living at basically as a respite shelter, my life is rich. I've met people that I really love, that I've enjoyed. I've been able to be a part of people's lives that I wouldn't have been able to otherwise. And yeah, I think that, like I said, if the greatest commandment in the Bible is to love God and then to love thy neighbor as thyself. And I find more fulfillment in my life when I'm able to do that. And so it's part of my faith, yes, but it's who I am. It's the only way I can say it, is that if we're not here to love each other, and I know it sounds kind of corny.
I know, we live in a cynical time.
Yes.
We live the 2006 is a cynical time. But what I wanted people to understand about you, what made me take the time to move heaven and earth to try to get this captured on tape, is the fact that you are who you are. I watched you go out when you weren't feeling good. I saw you taking nitroglycerin to keep your own heart beating, and you went out to help a lady look for her son.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Albert,
that same night when I first met you.
Well, Albert, I got to know Albert. He's my roommate, and he took off. Albert
was the person who was missing, correct?
Right, Albert's the person who was missing.
And was that his mom or sister? I can't recall.
That was his nurse, actually.
That was his nurse, okay.
Yes, and so we went out looking for him because...
On a Sunday?
On a Sunday, yeah.
I mean, not a normal day, but this was a day...
Yeah, well, he was gone for a day and a half, and he has some problems, and he was lost, and so we needed to find him.
Now, he's a mental patient, sort of, or what? He takes medication.
He has disabilities, yes.
He has a mental disability. Yes. With the people that you've met, you're not a disabled person. Let me make that clear. You are not mentally disabled. You have been put in this situation because, by law, you have to be destitute to be helped by the government.
By the rules of Social Security, yes,
right.
That is true.
Which is the federal law.
Right, I guess, I don't know. But I know their rules are, they don't want you to have a car, they want you to have nothing. And
what do you own now? I mean, how many,
I own nothing.
You just own...
Nothing.
You don't own a suit of clothing?
Yeah, I own clothes, yes.
I mean, but... So
but basically, that's, I had to sell everything and get rid of everything.
You get your meals given to you where you're at. You don't even have money.
Well, I get now. Just recently, I got through the Colorado. I got what's it called? A&D.
What does A&D stand for?
I don't really know.
Okay, but it's a payment that you get.
Right, it's a pay. I think I have it here. I get $200 a month.
Oh, well, okay.
That's what I get.
$200 to survive for 31 or 30 days or 29 days or 28 days, depending on the month.
Right. So that's what I get a month.
In this economy.
Yeah. But most of the stuff has been given to me because of the respite care. And, I mean, as far as...
Do they take that money from you?
Oh, no.
That's for you to have?
Yeah. VOA has been great. I mean, they've been wonderful as far as, the staff there, like I said, Steve and Elaine.
But even in your room, you have to share with this other gentleman that you were looking for?
Right.
You have a room that's about the size of a room that kids normally have as a single room.
Yeah, I'll say it's like 11 by 14.
11 feet by 14
Right.
feet.
For two people.
Two grown
Right.
men.
Right.
And you share a bathroom.
Right. Which, it's like college all over again.
I guess that's a good way to look at it. It's like a dormitory.
Yeah. And and I'm grateful for them for supplying that to me. I mean, it's been great. I mean, they've been great. I mean, but I have seen things that I have never seen before, as far as, and I was a minister for a while, and I had worked with.
What kind of a minister were you? What faith?
Pastor. Oh, interdenominational.
It was interdenominational?
Correct.
So, and this was in what state? In Nevada?
No, I was.
You were ordained where?
In New Jersey.
In New Jersey, okay.
And then I worked in Minnesota, and then wherever I worked with my other job, I would help out as a pastor at different churches, and then some churches actually hired me as a pastor.
Jack, where are you from originally?
I was born in Vermont.
You were born in Vermont. What town in Vermont?
Springfield.
Springfield, Vermont. And you grew up on the East Coast. Vermont is beautiful. I've seen it. So you've come.
I come from New England, yes.
So you're a person who's used to seeing beauty,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're in a situation where you're looking at a different kind of beauty in terms of human beings.
Yeah, well, I've lived all over the country.
So you've seen.
Yeah, I went to college in Washington State, and I lived in New Mexico and lived on the East Coast, up and down in Florida.
So you've been to New York. You've seen poverty, and you've seen wealth.
I've seen it all, and I worked. I was going to say was when I was pastoring, I actually went to the Bowery Mission, which is one of the biggest missions in the country, and would preach and do the religious thing there.
What borough was that in the Bowery? Is that in New York, right?
I think it's in Manhattan.
Manhattan. So.
And it's down by Canal Street, so that's Manhattan, yeah. So
so it's kind of a rough area.
Yeah, it's a rough area, very rough, yeah.
Latino, black, mixture.
Everybody. Well, Canal Street right down there is Little Italy. It's Chinatown.
Very ethnic.
Yeah, very ethnic.
A mix.
Yeah, it's a whole mix. So down there. So anyway, and I did the religious thing, but I really never knew what it meant to be in that community until now.
You were kind of imported in and then exporting yourself out.
Oh yeah, and you're treated like royalty because you're a pastor, and you get a special spot to sit, and the whole deal. But it's different when you live with them.
So you were kind of like a Pharisee or Sadducee, I guess. You came in.
I hadn't felt like one, but now I realize that I was really isolated from what really was going on.
So you saw it, but you weren't part of it.
Right.
Now you're living it.
I'm living it, yes.
With what you've learned, do you feel that what you did then was of any use, or you see things differently now? You're this guy that you used to.
When I did that, I was 22.
You were 22 years of age.
Right, and my views on a lot of things have changed. And it's to say whether I was of any effect, I don't know. I mean, I doubt it.
You were a kid.
I was a kid, and I had an earnest heart, but
the road to hell is paved with good
intentions. But that's not really not in the Bible. But
it's sort of a proverb.
Yeah, it's a proverb. But I really felt at the time that that's what was right to do.
So you were a good kid. You'd come from a religious background.
Mm-hmm.
You've had faith for 25 years.
So,
but this really, what's happened to you now is steeled.
It's real faith.
Has steeled your faith.
Oh yeah.
It's solidified. It's hardened.
Hardened it, right.
I don't mean steel as an S-T-E-A-L, but steel as an S-T.
I know what you meant.
No, I'm just saying for the people who hear it.
Okay.
Because when I met you, I didn't believe you. I didn't know what to think about you, and when I saw the way you were resigned to what is happening to you, even with the government, you had a good attitude. I don't know what this will do, this interview will do. I'm willing to take a risk at the fact that you're valuable. This is an attempt to tell your story, and that's what I want you just to talk and just share, because this is like finding a diamond on the 5 Points here in Denver. I've never met anyone like you before who has the attitude that you've had. You have a right to be bitter based on the way the government treated you. A lot of people for less have been mean and would have probably not cared about their roommate and would have been upset at the fact that they've come from Vermont and come from other areas and had a nice home in Las Vegas. Your attitude has been outstanding. I'm saying that for the record because the 8 hours roughly that I spent with you, I've never met anybody like. I couldn't forget you. And I'm not trying to pick furniture and be a date or something, but I mean, I'm amazed at your faith.
Yeah.
What do you want to say to people? I mean, as far as you're the real deal.
Well, I would say that.
This isn't phony. This is not a sermon. You're really in need of a heart.
Right.
You're physically encumbered. You're not feeling sorry for yourself, which I'm amazed and impressed at.
I will tell you that there are days that are rough.
That's human.
I mean, when the day after we found, I'll just share some things that have been rough for me, because I know how you're making it sound, but there have been some hard times, or hard moments. When after I realized what happened, my brother called my mom. My mom called me. She lives in Jersey, and asked me.
What part of Jersey, by the way?
She lives in the northern part, right by the city.
Right.
And she asked me where I wanted to be buried.
Your mother asked you where?
Because it's that serious.
It's that imminent.
Yeah, and that was tough. I had to call my daughter, who's 14, who lives with her mom. I had to tell her what was happening. That was tough. To realize that I probably won't see my daughter walk down the aisle. That there are a lot of things I won't see. That's tough. I mean, on and on, all honesty, that stuff's tough. And
is your daughter coming to see you here in Colorado?
Oh yeah, she is. Yeah, oh yeah, that's already happened. And
what does a man talk about to his girl? Most men love their daughters.
I love my little girl. What do I talk to her? About everything else but. I mean, to be honest with you, you know, her mom told her, my ex-wife had told her what happened. I asked her if she knew what was happening. She said yes. And then we talked about everything else. I mean, a 14-year-old girl is tough to even comprehend.
You love her.
what
I
I'm
can
going
see it
through.
in your eyes.
Yeah, she's great. And then, I mean,
has this helped your wife in your relationship at all, or is it?
No. My ex-wife's remarried. She's doing great. She's a wonderful woman. She's.
There's no animosity.
No, I don't have any towards her, and she's not towards me. She's just a great woman, and she's done great, and she's done great with our daughter. She's done great. Period.
So what do you want to tell your daughter if she sees this? Because I'm going to be sure that if the world spins, they're going to get a copy of this. I promise you that.
Just that I love her, and that I'm sorry for everything that's happened and everything that's going to happen, that I won't be there, and that I haven't been able to be there in the last, since I was sick, and that that she listened to her mom, because her mom is a good person, and that she grows up so that her mom and I are proud of her.
And any future grandkids, what do you want to tell them? If she has.
I haven't even thought that far ahead. I'm only 43. I haven't even thought of being a grandfather yet. Oh boy.
They'll see this. What would you like to tell your
I
grandson?
guess the main thing is follow God, love Jesus, and have fun in life. I mean, God makes life fun. He does. But I mean, enjoy every moment you got. That's basically what I say. The Bible says, don't care for tomorrow. Doesn't mean we don't make plans and this and that. It says we don't worry about tomorrow. And live your fullest every day, I guess. That's what I would tell him to do. Carpe Diem.
Seize the day.
Seize the day. Yeah. That's what I would say.
This life is just a dream. Soon we'll sleep forever. Lay me down. I'm praying we'll keep our souls here together. Mama says she loves you. She prays you'll be strong, and may the Father bless and keep you, and help to carry on. Even though she's gone, even though she's gone, Mama says she loves you. You know